pass this
Okay.
over to Hunter.
Awesome.
Why is it still showing that presentation?
Well, I'll just do a little bit of background. So my name's Hunter LeClaire. I'm Gloucester County's Tourism Marketing and Events Manager. So I work with our Daffodil Festival, our Visitor Center, our Museum of History, and I am wanting to talk with you all today about an opportunity called Volunteer River Counties. And from my perspective, Volunteer River Counties has been very relevant in a lot of our neighboring communities, and it is slowly coming into Gloucester. So I want to show you from the perspective of how Gloucester County is using Volunteer River Counties to market, acquire, and manage our volunteers. Volunteer River Counties is a subset project of Serve Virginia, which is through the statewide Virginia Department of Social Services, and we have Elizabeth with us, who her team really manages and does all the behind the scenes and the technical stuff. So I just want to show you how cool it is and how excited I am. And then if you have any actual technical questions on behind the scenes, what it can do, then there is a whole other group of people who can tell you the why and how it works and all of the fun stuff. So I just want to do a little demo. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, so Volunteer River Counties has been live for 1 year. So not a whole lot of time, but it has made a whole lot of impact in that past year. The views, we had a call earlier this week about just how successful it's been, and so it's been growing every month. But in the last month, they reached 8,000 views. So people are going on here to look for volunteer opportunities. Just in the last month, they've had 50 new potential volunteers sign up, and then they've had 40 of those volunteers actually sign up for a volunteer opportunity. So the conversion rate is very high as to who's looking on here for volunteer opportunities and then who is actually signing up and registering. There are currently 620 volunteer potentials that are registered in this system, and then they have 95 organizations. So River Counties, the pilot, it started with Middlesex, Northumberland, and Lancaster. Did it for a year, very successful. Now they are expanding it more towards the full region, and so Gloucester is very early on, and we're hoping that by the county using this for our opportunities and sharing it with you today, that you could learn if it would be helpful for your organization. So this is the homepage, some beautiful branding, and just to kind of show you what it looks like if it was, oh, I need to find a volunteer opportunity. This is what it looks like. And so you can find all the different volunteer opportunities. You can also filter it if you say, I want to work with animals. I want it to be within a 50-mile radius. And so you can use the location to show opportunities near you. So if I search for Gloucester, because we don't have location turned on, it will show you some different things happening in and around Gloucester, and you will see some of our opportunities. So for the Daffodil Festival, I am routing all of our volunteer inquiries through this website. So we are looking for someone to help be a stage manager. We have some great bands coming, and they really require a liaison to help them get into the building and give them water and things like that, make sure sound is okay. So we want someone to help us manage the stage during the day. So on here, you can read about the opportunity. You can see that it's posted by Gloucester. You can reach out to the site supervisor, me, and then you can respond. And if someone responds, it would send an email to the site supervisor. So I get an email, and it says, James Luck signed up to be your stage manager.
Might do that. I'm sitting here wondering.
Yeah.
There should be a stage here.
So that is kind of how different opportunities come about. I will show you on the back end if I can get in. Okay, awesome. I remembered it. Had to test that earlier. So on the back end, it's very easy to use, and there are all different levels. So I want to just route posting our volunteers and getting inquiries through this website, but it's also built for nonprofits that maybe don't have a lot of tech capacity to manage their volunteers. And so you can sign off on hours, you can manage schedules, you can communicate with your volunteers through this system. So it's really helpful for organizations that are maybe using 5 to 6 volunteers all at once. So like food bank distribution, dinner services, things like that, where you're interacting with a lot of different people. And so instead of just sending individual emails or keeping things in an Excel sheet, you can use this system. So on our side, I can see all the different volunteer opportunities. You know, I just added yesterday, we are having a fall market, and so I could use some extra hands there. And so it's super easy to create an opportunity. The profiles are all pretty self-explanatory. Like I could add museum docent here. You can do interests and abilities. So it's also helpful to find maybe they offer remote opportunities, so maybe I just need a social media manager, but they also offer opportunities for board service. So if you are looking for someone like that, you can put in the schedule, and so you can say, I just need someone to come on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Ours lists as ongoing because I don't know when I'm going to fill this stage manager. I didn't want to list just April 3rd on Daffodil Festival. I want someone who's going to want to work with me. So there's some little tips and tricks on how to make it most beneficial, and Savannah and I have both kind of played with that. But I have found it very easy to use. It's also very attractive. I don't know why that's doing that. So super easy to use, very attractive. There's also a way that you can create your own profile, and then people can like your organization. So if people go in and they say, I like Gloucester, I like working with them, I want to know when their next events are going to be, it would prompt them, it would send them emails, hey, Visit Gloucester just posted a new event opportunity. And so we added our own branding, you know, who are we, what do we do? We were able to add a little video about our different events, and you can see all of our opportunities. So super user-friendly. It is free for all of the organizations to post their volunteer opportunities. It is free for the different volunteer prospects to use. So a completely free system to all those involved. It also is very helpful because you can reach out to people who maybe have court-mandated service needs. So you can say on there if you accept folks that are looking for that type of service or not. You can do some pre-screening questions. How old are they? Do they have to be over 18? Things like that. So you can get a lot of that information out immediately before someone calls and you have to have a whole interview. So it's helpful just to know to be able to do a little bit of pre-screening. Another thing that I learned at our recent call was July 2025 had a lot of policy changes that are going to be rolling out specifically for Medicaid expansion and then some SNAP changes. And so with the work requirements, there's going to be a lot more people who have to get hours that can qualify under volunteer hours. So there might be a lot more people who are looking for these type of opportunities so that they can maintain those benefits. Obviously, that's not within my scope as to what qualifies and such, but it is very promising that there are people who want or have to get involved in different type of service. If they can't find employment, they still need those hours. And so there are a lot of influx of people who are coming to the system to volunteer. Savannah has also been working with it. So Savannah, if you want to chat about your background.
Yeah, sure. So, if you don't know me, I'm Savannah Hogdahl. I work for Gloucester County's Community Engagement and Public Information Department, doing a lot more on the public information side. We're hoping to start marketing volunteer river counties and all the places that we normally share information for the people who need to volunteer. Like, we're about to get a high school coordinator. So I've already talked to her, she couldn't be here today, but we're hoping to work with them. They've already got a landing page for Lancaster High School where all the kids can come and they click, and it's all the volunteer opportunities that might be suitable for teenagers. So we can work with Beta Club, NHS, Key Club, ROTC, leadership class. Like, there's a lot of teens that need to volunteer. As Hunter said, I think social services We'll be working with them for people who need to get hours to qualify for their benefits. We're going to want to hand them a QR code that takes them to Volunteer River Counties. I was thinking we could get in touch with our parole officer. She works with the whole area. So those people who are on parole and who need to get hours, they might want to come to this website and find opportunities. I just think this will be our one-stop shop. When someone calls and asks me, I need to volunteer, where should I go? I'm going to hand them this site. So we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to get your opportunities on there before we start doing that, because I don't want to send them there if there are no opportunities. I will say they're really helpful. I went on there and I was like, we never get people signing up for our boards. What if I put on the library board like an opportunity to serve? So I wrote that down. I did my best. Elizabeth emailed me and said, hey, I noticed you did something wrong, so I went behind you and fixed it, and now it will sort correctly. So they're very responsive, which I've found great. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try and pull on the county side. Animal control has dog walkers. I'm going to try and get those up there. I would love to get the library filtering through here. I know they have a lot of people come in and shelve books. Our schools, I don't know, we're toying with the idea. Our school volunteers require background checks, which is a different bear, but we're looking to invest in the system and to share it in our town crier and beehive and social media and all the places. So we would love for you to get that free marketing.
Well, and I don't know if you guys remember, but we had RCC, the nursing program, joined us a couple months ago on one of our presentations, and the whole reason they were doing that was to try and get the students engaged with the resources that were in the community and where they could find services for the things that they were trying to accomplish, and they joined a couple of them, but we didn't, either way, I plan on sharing this link in your program with them, so that way they can have their students monitoring, and they'll probably, hopefully include it in their future classes too, so the more we can get out there.
So when they had the presentation about the year in review, they were mentioning that they do volunteer spotlights, and one of the people they spotlighted was an RCC student. So I think the RCC kids might already be coming here looking for opportunities.
Thank you.
Awesome. And our friends from Volunteer River Counties, is there anything that we missed that anyone would like to add?
The only thing I would add, two things. One, you all are agreeing to work with. This is exactly the way we want to do it, and we want to be an added resource for you all. We're not like substituting what you all are doing. And Savannah mentioned that we made a landing page for Lancaster high school students. We want to do the same thing for you all, the Gloucester Resource Council, so that you all can link directly there. People know your brand, they trust you all, they know who you are, and that'll just make it quicker for people to find your organization. So that's one thing. And the other thing would be the hours tracking, which would be more interesting from the volunteer side, but it's very important for students or community service people. We're working with some other courts that accept that as verification of hours. I think it's the circuit court judge in Lancaster County and possibly Westmoreland is already accepting that. We're going to work with other systems to see if they would. And then as she mentioned, for the HAR 1 reforms, people who want to qualify for benefits and use volunteer hours to do that, we're working on the back end of that so that if they give permission, the DSS people can access their records and hopefully make that smoother and not interfere with or interrupt benefits. So that's another easy and important option that we have there. And I am the person that you would be interacting with on a daily basis, like for technical help and anything like that. And I would love to talk to you all more, set up one-on-one interviews with you to see what you need and how we can help you. Just reach out anytime. And we've left little flyers up front for you as well. And I'll be available today if you just want to bombard me later.
Very cool. I will say that it probably took 5 minutes to set up our Visit Gloucester profile, and then it takes probably 2 or 3 minutes to put on an opportunity. I also get weekly reports on how many people have signed up, how many people have looked at our opportunities, so that's helpful if I know that I could go in and refresh them. You don't have to delete it. You can just change any of the information. Oh, now it's going to be 1 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock that they need to show up. Very, very user-friendly, so I've been very pleased with this and hope that it's just a way to condense things instead of making a flyer or posting it on multiple places on our website. It's very attractive when you share out from this onto your Facebook or what have you. The branding looks really good, so we've been very happy with it.
Any questions or comments?
Elizabeth, how long have you been doing this?
Well, we started the project 2 years ago, and we actually went live at
Are you working with anybody from the Community Foundation at this time?
Absolutely. Well, the River Counties Community Foundation was one of our original partners in Lancaster.
So you're working with Lincoln?
Yes.
Okay.
And
All right, Reggie, this certainly does tie in with a lot of things. I'm kind of surprised, and I gotta tell you, this is a great tool to use. And I've got a lot of things I can be tying in with this right now. So,
You need one of
in
Gene's
fact,
students
I've
to
already
help
sent
you.
this over to Melanie Rapp over there, who's the Dominion Energy. She deals with grants and things like that for the Middle Peninsula. I've already sent this to her. So you'll be getting some contact from, to some people, I guarantee you that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I'll say as people are starting to get excited and share it, right now all they're going to find is my Daffodil Festival stuff. So I am very happy with that, but I want them to see all of your stuff too. I know Flatiron has some stuff on there already. Bay Aging has a lot of stuff. Savannah has put some of her community engagement stuff. So like I said, it's probably a 10-minute original investment to set it up, and then you get email. So I never have to go in and check to see if anyone's looking. It emails me that someone has registered for our volunteer opportunity.
And definitely, I think Hunter made a really good point that we want to have a goal, something for people to see when they get there. Because if they come and there's 2 opportunities, they're just not going to come back. So the more we can do before they push it out, that they've got a great plan for doing this, and I want to help you all get ready for that.
So great. Thank you so much for the presentation and all your work getting here and everything you've done to set up. Oh, hey Rachel, go ahead.
Can the, dates or hours be flexible? Because I know sometimes with court mandated or youth volunteering, if it's for data hours, if it's after school, just say, hey, we are open if you want to work from 3 to 5 or just email your hours. Is that something that's on this website?
So my understanding is, if I'm volunteering for Savannah can assign me 2 to 4 p.m., or I could just go in and I can log my hours, and if I say I'm working with Savannah, it sends Savannah a notification to say verify Hunter's hours from 2 to 4. And so that's when this verification that I would have, I could show the school, the court, social services, et cetera, because it's an official platform where Savannah has authorized that I had worked those hours.
Yeah, because just from the experiences, it is usually they email being hey, when are the hours or something, and we say we can do these hours, and then they make the time, but I don't know how to really translate that into this when it's 9 to 5, they could come to the Cape and help watch the artifacts.
Yeah, so for mine, the stage manager, I'm really needing you to work. So in the description, I say, I need you to work April 3rd and 4th, and there's likely 2 hours commitment each month leading up to it. And so it's ongoing, and basically they can do it remote. So in there, I'm able to determine all of that. I also write in there background check required at orientation. And so I can add all of that information so people have that.
You guys have may hit on this before, but is there a filter for court ordered versus not? Because we'll get a lot of court ordered, and we at the Boys and Girls Club, we're not allowed to take those, but I always try to find other organizations to send them to. I'm not sure if that's a.
It's an option where organizations can, if you're trying to attract people who might be needing court-ordered service, you can do that.
Gotcha.
But we don't have one where you can say.
We cannot
exclude
take.
those.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
if you, particularly like you're saying, it's relevant, in the description, you could say, we require background checks, or however you'd like to phrase it, absolutely. But it doesn't allow them to filter those out from the volunteer side.
Thank you.
Kate?
We use LGM, Little Green Light, as our constituent management, and we're kind of using it now for volunteer tracking, so you can see this person donated and they volunteered and they love this event. Is there a way to either link the systems or export the data so we can get it into?
You can export data. Right now, they only back-end interact with Salesforce, and we don't facilitate that. But you can absolutely export all sorts of data, reports, comments, limited files, or Excel, as you prefer, to import into other more friendly apps you might be using for other functions. Definitely.
Great questions. Any others? Again, thank you so much. I'm so excited.